Not
be the
even
best
like
swordsman.
Tyrion dying would have like knocked him
Because
off.
he
his
still would have been the
pedestal.
best swordsman. He
Right.
still would have went down and killed somebody.
Killed
because
whoever
of,
did it, yes.
You know,
Or
well,
whoever
whether
he
you
could get
killed
it,
him
yeah.
or caused him to be killed, I'm gonna kill you now because I can. I'm Jaime Lannister with the fucking Lannister. That's hand.
I hate you. I fucking hate you. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. I went through like 7 accents in that one intro, and as always, I'm your favorite host, Zach.
Are you?
Your least favorite host, Nate, just opened his big fat mouth during my intro.
Are you, Zach, though? Because you just went through 6 variations of people. And especially, I'm coming in hot with this one because last week you interrupted my intro to go, that's all you could do? And then you
put
go
a little
through
pepper on it.
Then you go through 14 different. Did every one of those voices have pepper on it?
Sure did.
I disagree.
Absolutely
I disagree.
There was a lot of pepper on it.
It seems a little bit more like salt to me.
Well, you're the only one salty here. Anyway, we are a full spoiler reread of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm Zach. That's Nate. What up?
Yo.
So this one's probably coming to you a little bit late. Life has been kicking us in the face, and we've been busy guys. So we're recording when we can, but this one will probably end up coming a few days later. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe Nate's magic will make it come out on time.
It won't.
But I doubt it.
It won't. Also, there may be some arbitrarily shouting children in the back. That is normal. Nothing to worry about. I have kids, and they happen to be here while we're recording.
Right. Normally, we manage to time it when the kids are out of the house, but this time we were unable to, and we want to get you a fucking episode because we know that you're fiending for it. So, last episode, we were reading Dany 6, Dany's final A Storm of Swords chapter. As we recall, I LOL'd at the AI breakdown, calling it basically Dany's unlikable arc. But I was a little cold on it. I don't really think you were cold on it per se, but it was a great chapter. It just was very clearly a setup for what may or may not have been intended as a gap.
Yeah, the AI breakdown kind of took a specific set of words, because we discussed how it's setting her up for the gap. It's preparing for all of this, and so there's a lot going through her head, but not necessarily a ton going on at the moment. And so it wasn't an unlikable arc.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, Dany very much so sitting at a position sort of at the height, both literally and figuratively, of her power, but unsure what to do with that power as she sits in rule over Marine and murmur. And so, yeah, with her dragons, with her captains, with her bear and her knight.
Sellswords.
Yeah, she's deciding what to do. Jorah gets banished. Barristan gets folded into the clique.
Bury the bold.
The Grandmasters get strung up like the children did on poles, and Dany regrets that decision a little bit. And the flies are infesting her city, a fun little foreshadowing of the Pale Mare to come. But we leave Essos for the knot, as now we are focused mainly in Westeros, and this episode with another final chapter as Jaime, this is Jaime's last.
Yeah.
This is Jaime's last chapter of A Storm of Swords as well. Jaime 9, I think last episode I called it the wrong number. This is Jaime 9 of A Storm of Swords, his final chapter as well. Last we left Jaime had returned to King's Landing. He's home, and he does not get a great welcome.
Yeah, he's not gotten the reception that he was expecting from anybody. While he doesn't necessarily... I honestly think that he enjoyed being able to just slip into the keep unnoticed, but once he got there, he wasn't thrilled with how people were like, oh, well, look at you, Mr. One Hand. Yeah. And then he cleaned up and started getting a bit of that back. Oh, shit, Jaime Lannister's here. But we're going to see how much that's affected him in this chapter.
Him and Cersei had weird sex over the body of their son, and Cersei then immediately regretted doing so. And Jaime has been in and out. He was watching Tyrion's trial, but using that anonymity to kind of just do it from the background.
Do it from the back?
Yeah. He had a meeting with his sworn brothers of the Kingsguard, took in their measure. Him and Loras had a dick measuring contest, and he realized that Loras is him when he was younger. And he has a whole page of a white book that he is very interested in filling. And that's where we left it. And so we pick it up as Jaime is guarding the king, Tommen, as Tommen is signing a bunch of royal documents.
I fucking love Tommen.
Okay.
I fucking love Tommen.
You don't need to yell about it.
I do. I fucking love Tommen.
Yeah, Tommen's pretty great. Jaime thinks there are so many people who would kill to have this position at this table. He thinks if this is power, this is tedium, this is terrible, and I hate it.
I like his asking that question, is this power, after the conversations way back when with Varys and Tyrion, who holds the power, where is the power? It's in that little kid right there who's just writing his name, which I will also...
It's not. The power is with the
Tywin
uncle
and Kevin
who is
Lannister,
handing him the decrees.
And that's which is fun. So we do open, and he's watching Tommen just sign decrees, one after another, that are being handed by Kevin Lannister.
That Tommen has no fucking idea or care in the world of what these mean or what he's affixing his signature to.
I enjoy that we're A, seeing it through Jaime's point of view, but B, how quickly we're seeing Kevin cycle through them. A, probably just to keep Tommen's attention on the task. B, because Tommen doesn't give a fuck. C, because it, to me, is very much that if he goes too much into detail, a sweet little sweetheart like Tommen's going to be like, is that okay?
Right. Well, this is all the end of the war stuff.
Yeah.
This is them giving the rewards to their loyal supporters, those who basically... in this little batch that we come in
those
on
who betrayed the
is the Red Wedding betrayers, and their enemies getting their just desserts as far as the Lannisters are concerned.
So the first one we hear is Edmure Tully and the Blackfish being stripped of all titles and lands.
Yeah.
They're gone.
By Riverrun.
Yep.
That's going to Sir... not Sir.
Emyn Frey and Lady Jenna.
Lady Jenna, and that's Jaime's aunt, and so...
Is it? Because it was Jenna. Isn't Gemma the
it's
aunt?
Jenna Lannister.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I was just...
I always call her Gemma, but it's
so it was
Jenna.
you fucking me up. As always, it's Zach's mistake,
Why don't
guys.
you fucking learn to read for yourself and don't have to, rely on me for all of your information?
God.
Yeah, it's Jenna Lannister,
the
badass sister of Tywin and Kevin, and her husband, Emyn Frey, who are now rulers of Riverrun. They get Riverrun. And so, as Kevin is kind of putting each one in front of him, Jaime thinks that he is sore as shit, as he just took a beating last night from Sir Adam Marbrand because he asked him to train, because he's known Sir Adam Marbrand since he was a page at Casterly Rock, and he trusts him about as much as he trusts anybody here. And he wanted to learn how well he did with his other hand, and it's not well.
Yeah, so this is a huge deviation from you show-only watchers.
Fuck the show.
He doesn't train with Bronn. He trains with Adam Marbrand, and I love that difference. That it's not Tyrion's bestie that he's off training with, but it's... this Adam Marbrand, a knight of, it's one of the Kingsguard. But...
Jaime hates it. He can't fight well with his other hand. Every instinct is wrong, whereas before he didn't have to think. He just acted. Now he's thinking about everything and overthinking it to the point where Adam Marbrand fucking disarmed him like 4 times, sent his tourney sword flying, and Jaime's got the lumps and the bruises to prove how shitty he is with his offhand.
And he mentions it there. He'll do it again later, that he's concerned a bit about Adam Marbrand speaking about it. I believe, because we just read it recently, Adam was the only one who actually gave an honest trial account for Tyrion, saying that he wasn't the evil piece of shit. And he seems to be one of the only decent Kingsguard. And from what I recall... he's not exactly this super charismatic, outgoing, tell everybody everything. He's kind of just a stoic guy that does his shit. And so I don't think, I don't blame Jaime, but I don't think he has as much to worry about from Adam Marbrand as he's
no, it's purely now he has to worry about his reputation, whereas before he kind of coasted on the fact that he was Kingslayer and could do anything he wanted. Now it's absolutely, he is afraid of word getting out that he sucks. And
I put in my note that Jaime got his ass whooped repeatedly. Adam put him through his paces. Basically, Jaime was doing everything he could to prove to himself this had nothing to do with Adam or who, because he will mention later that he wishes it was Ilyn Payne.
So it's Sir Balon Swan.
Oh, Balon Swan's the decent one.
Yeah, no, it is not Marbrand.
All right, then forget everything I just said.
Forget everything Nate said. He's wrong again.
Because Zach didn't tell me anything, so how am I supposed to know,
Yeah, no, Adam escorts Tyrion to the trial.
Right.
He's the one who basically is like, it wouldn't be appropriate if the Kingsguard brought you down because they're testifying against you. But yeah, he thinks, maybe I should have gone with Ilyn Payne because he can't talk, and that's a hint at what's to come shortly in the future for Jaime. But we also learn here that Roose Bolton's son is now legitimized, and that Roose Bolton is Tommen's new Warden of the North, so Roose Bolton is getting all his rewards, as is Ramsay. And Rolf Spicer is risen to Lord and given Castle Castamere. And so we know Spicer was also there at the Red Wedding and with the Westerlings as well. Catelyn had a big mistrust of Spicer, didn't really like him, thought, it was wise of Robb to kind of separate him from the rest of the crowd when he did.
Yeah, and there's also, with that one, a pardon for Lord Gawain Westerling and Jeyne Westerling.
Yeah, his wife and his daughter, and so all of the people that tricked Robb.
And then there's also finally ones for Jonos Bracken, Lord Vance, Lord Goodbrook, and Lord Mooton of Maidenpool, all given pardons as they've bent the knee to the Lannisters. Yeah,
these ones less had something to do with the Red Wedding, I don't believe, and are more just they started sipping the Kool-Aid after the fact.
Yeah, they're the ones that are dealing with shit like down in Duskendale, and I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of them coming up in Feasts.
Yeah.
So that'll
absolutely,
be fun.
Brienne will make her way that way. But Jaime has had enough, so he makes to leave, and Sir Kevin's like, so, this rift between you and your papa, and Jaime's like, yeah, is his doing, and
here he goes again, Kevin. Just after, it's the same as the last Tyrion episodes where he's just riding Tywin's dick so hard. Listen, I know you guys had a bit of a spat, but my brother really, really needs you to pay homage to him and thank him for everything he does.
Jaime says it's all Tywin's doing, and if he thinks that sending mocking gifts is going to do anything, he's fucking wrong. And Kevin actually genuinely is distressed by this. He's like, no, it was heartfelt. It was a real gift. And Jaime's like, yeah, okay. And because Kevin's like, he thought it would spur you to, and Jaime's like, what, grow another hand? Like, he knows that swordplay was my thing, and now I can't do that. And so he sends me a Valyrian steel sword. What the fuck? Not that we know it's a sword yet, but what the fuck, bro?
I also do think it's funny because at this point, other than when he just got mad at him about the Kingsguard stuff, Jaime was heads above the favorite of the family, even above Cersei.
Well, yeah,
because he was the heir. He was the one who could bring the name Lannister forward into the future, and so of the three, Jaime was the one that would have been most likely to receive a genuine gift from Tywin.
Well, it was meant for him, yeah.
Just at this point now, it's fucking take it.
Right, right. I had it made for you. What am I gonna do with it? Tywin doesn't plan on fighting any more battles, and so
so while I think it does mock based on the way that the situations roll, I don't know that was Tywin's intent. I mean, sure, he'll claim credit for any I
think Kevin is right that it was meant as heartfelt in an attempt to mend fences. I do think Tywin regrets immediately disowning him, because he's the only fucking, especially after Tyrion now, he's the only option he has left for an heir. And we'll learn, shortly in this chapter that he's pushing Cersei out, and so he wants Jaime back at the table because Jaime is the only chance he has for a legacy.
And so, Jaime is excused, and my favorite part of the entire chapter happens here.
Jaime does follow protocol because he asks the king's leave. He's like, Your Grace, do I have your leave to go? And Tommen's like, yeah, if you wish, Sir Uncle. And then immediately turns to Kevin.
With the best line in the entire chapter, can we seal these yet? Is it time for the seal? Because he loves to do the wax sealer, and I fucking love just how well Martin shows the innocence of this little sweet boy. He just wants to stamp stuff.
Tommen's gonna die.
Absolutely.
Tommen's gonna die.
He's too innocent and pure to not
die.
Jaime
even calls out the differences of that Tommen's a little more plump than Joffrey ever was, and Tommen's gonna die.
Poor little Tommen.
So Jaime heads out, and out in the yard runs into Steelshanks, who is mounting up to leave, and he's like, yeah, we're getting ready to go as soon as my lady is mounted up. And we learn that my lady is this youngish girl dressed in gray with a wolf pin, clasping her gray cloak.
Holy shit, it's Arya Stark.
Arya Stark's here, y'all. A cameo. What? Applause.
Yeah, they're going to meet Roose Bolton, but Arya Stark... ain't no Arya Stark.
Jaime clocks this immediately. He's like, I do recall Arya Stark being a little younger than this girl is, and
like darker
that's
hair
interesting.
Or something. Like there was a couple little, and it's funny because he is like, I only ever met her the once, but
yeah, because even she calls that out. She's like, and because this is Jeyne Poole. Full spoiler. This is Jeyne Poole being masqueraded now as Arya Stark. Poor girl. And
here we go.
She already plays the part very well because she's like, I was a little younger and, we only met the once, but
at my father's.
You saw me when you came to see my father, Lord Eddard, with King Robert, and hi. And he's like, oh, shit. And then Jaime thinks, the real Arya Stark is probably buried in some unmarked grave somewhere in Flea Bottom, LOL. And now that her entire family is dead, who is going to call her a fraud? Because there's no one left who would recognize her.
Yeah, not just her family. Everybody in the fucking castle is basically
But we're
gone.
Forgetting that the North remembers.
I do like that he also points out that she's playing the part well, but that she still sounds nervous or fearful. And part of me wonders if that's not even to do with the part, but with the... she's been trained by Littlefinger over the
well. This is because the point where she's nervous comes up when he says, "I hear you're to be married," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting married to Ramsay Bolton, who the king just legitimized, and I hear he's such a good guy, and I'm so happy." And Jaime's like, thinks, he doesn't say it out loud. He's like, "Then why do you sound so afraid?" At this point, Ramsay's exploits aren't a fucking secret. They are pretty well known that he was pretty depraved. And so, what a terrible person to be betrothed to, not to mention pile that on top of the fact that she's got to Elaine this shit. She's got to pretend to be someone completely different from herself.
Right.
Someone she knew, someone she grew up with, someone who she teased like a little sister,
and that to me, because we don't have too much detail that I can recall. It's been a while, but she had to have been taught and scripted and trained, but also broken like Reek. She is essentially playing more of a role, much more of a mummer than Reek than Theon is. But she was broken to the point where it's, if you would like to live, because you don't stand a chance of living. Right. You don't get to live.
You're Arya Stark.
You are now Arya Stark. And we are going to make sure that everything is now broken into you, that you are Arya Stark.
Yep.
And man, this poor girl.
Yeah, I mean, who better? She came down here as like the BFF of Sansa. Right. Cersei saw that. Littlefinger saw that. They made note of it because they were together when Eddard died and all that. Jeyne was very upset about her father, and Cersei had her taken away so as not to, quote-unquote, upset Sansa. But that was not the case. And so, yeah, this is one of the worst fates in the series, and it is still kind of in ongoing in play currently.
The pink letter and all that shit's
going on. And it's also it's a fun foreshadowing because Melisandre has the vision for Jon of his sister on the girl on a gray horse and in gray coming up to the wall, and it's actually not Arya, it's Alice Karstark, and that's a whole thing in and of itself. But yeah, so Steel Shanks is happy he got paid, so all debts are squared away with Steel Shanks. He's paid his men, and he, says, Lannisters truly do pay all their debts, and Jaime's like, yep, always, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then Jaime gets pissed off seeing the blood stain from the stable boy, which occurred during the fight with the Mountain in Oberyn, and he thinks, everyone's got a little bit to blame. Boros Blount, Blount for being too fucking enthralled by the fight, wasn't paying attention and getting the crowd back like Jaime told him to. Certainly, Oberyn and the Mountain have their part, and even the stable boy to a certain extent, but the Mountain's paying for that now, LOL.
Yeah, he also pointed out that the first one from the Mountain was probably accidental because the stable boy did get too close and shit happens, But that second one where he cleaved that sumbitch, it was pure malice. He was just frustrated and the Mountain about it and was like, cool, I already got you halfway there, so let's finish you off.
Pycelle has been working on Gregor, but based on the screams, it's not going well, and Pycelle reports that...
I love this scene, the flashback for that.
Yeah. He's tried, cutting away as much flesh as he feels safe doing. He's boiled it with wine, but his veins turning black. Right, he's tried to leech them. Yep. The leeches die. There is some fell poison that Oberyn had on his blade.
Dornish poison, baby.
Well, yeah, of course.
Love it.
And Pycelle's like, we need to know what it is so I can treat it. So let's keep his companions hostage and make them tell us. And Tywin outright refuses that. He says there can't be any more issues with Dorne. And
we already killed the Prince of Dorne here. That shouldn't have exactly happened, but it did. So we've sent the body back there. But we need you to save Gregor now, because he cannot die by poison from Dorne. He needs to die by the King's justice.
Yeah.
He has to survive this so that way I can take his head and make it seem like we have resolved all the issues between us.
Tywin reveals that he sent a letter with Oberyn's body to Prince Dorian that the Mountain will be killed. He will be given the King's justice, so he needs to be healed so that his head can be cut off by Tywin to be seen as a political, we're making this right, and not Oberyn getting justice from the grave for his sister and his own death now.
Yeah. So the fun part of being full spoilers, we know that Pycelle can't do this, and so it does lead to Qyburn taking over.
And a fake skull being sent.
And some weird shit happening. And then I like the idea that the fake skull is sent because Tywin ain't here to uphold that King's justice anymore, and Cersei wants her zombie tank.
Yeah, Cersei doesn't give a fuck about Dorne and what happens there other than Marcella, and so, Cersei's going to botch all that for us. But we go on that Tywin has this concern because they're aware that Stannis has left Dragonstone. Dragonstone is now empty. And Pycelle's like, good, let him go to the Free Cities and rot. And he's like, you're not this stupid. Dorne is still in play. And a gambling man would be willing to go down to Dorne to roll the dice. And if Stannis wins Sunspear to his cause, this war could go on for years. And we can't chance that. So no more bullshit with the Dornish. We will not be holding Oberyn's companions. And you will heal Gregor. And so Jaime has the thought of, it seems that even Tywin could cow the stranger, because now it's just Gregor screaming and screaming and screaming, not dying, not healing. He's just in this bullshit stasis.
I do like the idea of Stannis vanishing, that he's gone. They talk, he could be in Lys, he could be anywhere, but he's not lost. And Stannis, who is stiff as iron, is not going to bend and be like, okay, you win, I'll stop. He's going to fight tooth and nail until his very last. Of course, they don't know that he's going to be appearing at the end of Jon's chapter up in the north next chapter.
Right, he's going to the wall, but yeah. So Jaime returns to the White Sword Tower and has some thoughts about, who's on guard, who has the king. He should be sleeping, he thinks, because he had his training last night and he's fucking sore about it. But that all kind of goes away when he opens the door and finds Cersei waiting for him in his chambers.
Looking fine.
Cersei is hot as hell, but in tears. She tells him that Tywin doesn't want her on the council and wants to send her away so that he can have Tommen all to himself. And Jaime's kind of like, okay, I, wasn't allowed to be a father to this kid, so now all of a sudden you're trying to...
I don't care.
And we learn that he's still very bitter about Robert, as it should have been him to kill Robert and not Cersei. And if he had both his hands, he should have liked to have done that. And he says, and I liked this part, I could have, if I had let kingslaying become a habit, I could have taken you openly for my wife and let the world see. I'm not ashamed of loving you, only the things I've done to hide it. That boy at Winterfell, ... And so, this is the first time Jaime has openly admitted he feels guilty about shoving Brienne out the window.
This is him expressing regrets.
He's going,
about
yeah,
past
that
decisions.
was too far.
Yeah.
I should. And Cersei's like, did I tell you to do
that?
I
didn't tell you to do it.
I mean, she's like, Nate, I didn't fucking tell you to do that. Right, because you didn't have to, you bitch.
But you did it anyway.
Yeah. And she then twists it on him, you had to have me then. You couldn't wait until we returned to the city. So if you had gone hunting like I said, none of that would have happened. And, this is where his bitterness over Robert, he's like, I couldn't stand watching him stumble to your bed drunk every night.
Brings up Targaryens again, as Jaime always jumps onto that Targaryen thing. Cersei's, I want to say she's only really mentioned it in the show. She's not a big purveyor of that excuse.
No, because she doesn't want it openly. She never wanted it openly.
Right.
And it's a him thing, where it's more love than it is.
Well, and that we're going to get the line from her that just breaks his fucking world here, that she has always just been using him. He was a comfort to her, but not a necessity like she is to him.
Yeah, he also brings up that at Riverrun, Catelyn mentioned the cat's paw and thought that maybe Jaime had sent him, and Cersei admits that Tyrion had asked her about it as well, and Jaime outright asks her, did you? And she's like, no fucking way. She thought even Robert agreed that it would have been best had the kid died, but
Right.
And that's when Jaime immediately puts it together. He's like, who was in the room when you two were talking about this? And she was like,
just us and the kids.
Just us and the kids. And
she's like, you're right, it was Myrcella, that bitch.
Yeah.
And he's like, for real? Come on. Joffrey is the only person. I promise you that Tommen up there with Sir Pounce is not going after anybody.
And Cersei's like, yeah, maybe if it was Robb Stark, he didn't like him, but the younger one was nothing. And Jaime's like, yeah, but Joffrey wanted a pat on the head from that sot you made him call a father. And so when he heard you two discussing it and heard Robert's offhand comment of yeah, it'd be more of a mercy, that 1 + 1 = 2. Joffrey thought he was doing something that his father would see as a good thing, and
because he's a psychopath, he wanted to kill. But that's a bit of much there. So Cersei then essentially goes in for the seduction. She wants Jaime to leave the Kingsguard and go, because he'll be sent back to Casterly Rock, which is where she's sent. She doesn't want to marry, and so she makes a move to come in and sleep with him right then and there. Just basically what he did to her in the Sept, that, she was all upset about afterwards.
Because she even, mentions, he's going to make me wed again, trying to make him jealous. And it does, because Jaime has the moment where he's like, to who? And she's like, does it fucking matter? Someone Tywin thinks he needs. And, but I can't do that again. You're the only man I ever want in my bed again.
Oh, another lie right to the face there.
It's America's Got Talent, the big red X. We need one of those buttons for Cersei.
And then throw in fucking Lancel. There's so many just people there. But anyway, he brings up. Well, is it right then that he refuses? Not in this tower. This is where.
Right. Well, this is a Targaryen talk where Jaime says, you need to tell him that you don't want any man but me in your bed. And Jaime's like, the Targaryens. And she says, we are not Targaryens. And then he says, quiet, you'll wake up my sworn brothers. And we can't have that because people might hear us. And then she's like, do you not? Her manipulation is on point. Do you think I don't want it? I want you inside me. I want you in my bed. Nothing's changed. And she starts to try to suck him off. And Jaime's trying to resist. The
power of Brienne is strong with him.
It's nearly not, because
I think it's purely the
getting hard.
Stuff.
And then he says they had never done it in the White Sword Tower, much less the Lord Commander's chambers. Well, of course they haven't. This is all brand new. And he says, Cersei, this is not the place. You took me in the Sept. This is no different, she says. And he says, no, not here. And this, to me, is all about the White Book, much less so than anything with Brienne. This is about him in the Kingsguard's duties. He just kind of told Tywin, fuck you.
Well, that's I'm saying. The Brienne is strong in him is because after traveling with her,
the knight,
he is more into his oaths and being knightly. Keeping his word is more, he doesn't want to be false anymore. I think
exactly.
And so, it's that I'm sitting in the Lord Commander's chambers, which, he's had the opportunity in the White Sword Tower, never in this chamber specifically, but regardless, he never had done anything with her.
I don't know if they've had the opportunity in the White Sword.
Well, he had a room in the White Sword Tower.
No, he did, absolutely. But
whether under Barristan
and all that,
I'm not saying there was ever an actual physical opportunity for them to sneak away. It was more saying that he did have a room here, so it's not that they couldn't have.
It points out to him, the Red Keep, where all this lying and scheming happens anyway. The Sept, where, as far as Jaime's concerned, all this lying and scheming
we don't do that here at the White Tower.
Well, we don't now. Now I don't. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, and so I need to keep this pure. I need to keep this so we're not here. And then immediately Cersei goes scornful.
He saw a look of confusion at first in her eyes. That immediately turned into
fear. Yeah, and I like the fear because it's that, oh shit, the one person
he's rejecting.
Yeah, the one person that I could control absolutely.
And because now he's telling me no, and it really puts into perspective her burning this tower down. Sure, it's because Tywin died. There's hidden secret tunnels.
Well, it's the Tower of the Hand she burns, not this one.
This is the White Tower, not the Lord's Command. My bad. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but burning the tower, absolutely. I think there's some, symbolism in it for this as well. She immediately just goes almost elementary in her insults. Was it your manhood they hacked off in Harrenhal or your hand? You lacked, the courage to avenge Joffrey. Why would I think you'd protect Tommen? If Tyrion had killed all 3 of your children, would that have done anything to make you wroth? And Jaime admits here, I'm not certain Tyrion had anything to do with Joffrey, and I know he wouldn't harm Myrcella or Tommen, flat out.
Yeah, and again, fuck her with this manipulation shit with, but if he killed all 3 of your kids, they're
for all intents and purposes, they're not his kids.
Right.
You have never allowed them to be.
And rightfully so.
For good reason, yes.
But you can't now be like, oh, well, your kids, kids. Well, they never have been. I've been fucking dick out swinging hard as Jaime Lannister, champion of the world. I'm not going to pretend to be dad now that you are crying to me because you're being sent away.
Yeah. And then she, so you think that, because he says his threats mean nothing. Tyrion's threats mean nothing. He swears he didn't do it. And she says, he swears it. And dwarfs don't lie. Is that what you think? And he says, not to me, no more than you would. And she, I can hear her laugh. Is that what you think? You great golden fool. He's lied to you 1,000 times, and so have I. And so she gets up. She ties her hair back up in a hairnet, which I like a lot, the hairnet calling back to Sansa's hairnet that killed their son. And, she says, pretty soon Tyrion's gonna die, and Ilan Payne will have his head off. Maybe you can keep it as a keepsake, which, again, foreshadowing the Gregor skull, which is going to be sent around.
And the Ilan
And Sir Ilyn, sure. And she says he can keep watch over you as you sleep alone in that cold white bed. Not alone, he'll have Brienne pretty soon. And he says, you better go, Cersei. You're starting to piss me off.
You're pissing me off,
And
bitch.
she's like, ooh, I'm so scared of the cripple.
Dude, it blows my fucking mind, because this is the first time in his life that he is hearing and having to absorb that Cersei hasn't been truthful with him.
Cersei's a bitch.
He has based on this and the conversation he's had with Catelyn and Brienne, he doesn't lie to Cersei. He doesn't cheat on Cersei.
No.
Cersei knows everything he has ever done except for this small bit that he was away there.
Yeah.
We know that she's lied to him constantly,
Yeah.
she sleeps around constantly, that she's manipulative. For him to hear it out, here, you fool, I lie to you thousands of times. And him, like, that has to just...
And her grouping Tyrion in with that. Like, no, actually, I don't believe Tyrion has.
I don't either.
Jaime's lied to him more than Tyrion's lied to Jaime.
I don't think that I don't know that other than with Tysha, there has been much lying from Jaime to Tyrion.
And the attempt to hide him and Cersei. Like,
right.
But even that's kind of like an open, they don't openly discuss it.
But he knows, and
they both
know.
They know, yeah. It's that.
I mean,
type
it's
of
that
thing.
you go back to the conversation back in Winterfell with the,
yes.
whose side are
whose
you
side
on?
are you on,
yeah.
brother? Yeah, exactly. So she says, ooh, an angry cripple, how terrifying. And she says, a pity, this is where, like, basically her whole Feast of Crows arc comes from. A pity Lord Tywin never had a son. Ouch. I could have been the heir he wanted, but I lacked the cock. And then, of course, the elementary insult. Speaking of which, yours looks pretty sad and small hanging out of your breeches, brother. You better put it away. And so...
That's her waving her big dick in front of him.
And so she leaves. Jaime, kind of feeling like an idiot, puts his dick away. And he thinks, I've lost a hand, a father, a son, a sister, a lover, and soon I will lose a brother. And yet they keep telling me that House Lannister won this war, which is
line.
Tyrion also thought the same thing a couple chapters ago.
Too.
Well, just a few chapters ago where like he was like, everything's falling apart around our house, yet they keep saying we won. Like, eh. And so, he then goes out to Boros Blount and says, Tell Sir Loras that I'm ready to see her. And Boros is like, see who you fuck. And,
just find Loras.
Yeah, and tell him he'll understand. And so as soon as the whirlwind that is Cersei is gone, he wants to see Brienne,
Yeah, his mind goes right to it.
And so it takes a long time. So
I will also point out that their conversation is almost going to go similarly, where there is they start to have her leave with him angry at her.
Yeah.
And yet they talk it out. They chit-chat.
While he waits, he's looking over the white book, contemplating, his place in the King's Guard and what legacy he would like to leave. And eventually, Loras shows up with...
A few hours later. It took him
it takes a while.
Now, do you think it actually took him a while, or do you think that Boros Blount was just like, fuck this guy, I'm going to go wander and do my own damn thing?
That one.
Because Boros was the only nice one to Tyrion.
Yeah, I still do think it was a minute.
Yeah.
And so, Jaime asks Loras if they talked, and he's like, it could be it happened as she said, but I can't be certain. And so Jaime brings up that Varys says Courtney Penrose also died of strange circumstances. So, maybe there is something to it.
You mean he didn't leap off that tower?
And he tells, Loras, we'll talk more of this later. Leave me with Brienne. And Brienne, looking the same as always, but was dressed in women's clothes again, though this dress fit much better. And he tells her that blue is a good color on her. It goes well with your eyes. And he thinks she does have astonishing eyes.
What?
Jaime. And Brienne's like getting all flustered. She's like, okay.
No, she's not.
She glanced down at herself flustered.
Yeah, because she's stuck in this shit. She does mention that the dress was custom made for her.
Padded out the bodice.
And then, they padded up, so she's got a figure in there. She's looking fucking...
And she says, you look, and he finishes different. And, like, Shut up. I wanted to hear what she was going to say. Handsome,
he
dashing.
Does that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And granted, she's going to do it too, where she assumes.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, like, it's because they're flirting, not flirting.
Yeah, they hate each other, but they've grown to love each other, and it's so adorable. I love these two.
And so, Jaime kind of self-deprecates. He's like, a little more meat on my ribs, fewer lice in my hair. That's all. Stump's the same. Now come here and close the door. And she says, the white cloak, and he's like, I'm sure I'll soil it soon. Don't worry. It's just because it's new. And she's like, no, I was going to say it becomes you. It looks good on you. And he's like, oh, all right. She's not Cersei. And so she asks, did you mean what you said to Loras about Renly in the shadow? And he's like, I would have killed Renly myself. So, like, what do I care about who cut his throat? And she's like, you said I have honor. And he's like, what do you care what I'm saying?
Right, I'm a Kingslayer.
I'm the Kingslayer. Remember? When I say you have honor, that's like a whore vouchsafing your maidenhood, which I love that line so much. Idea. And he says, oh, by the way, Steelshanks is delivering Arya Stark back north to Roose Bolton. And Brienne's like, fucking what?
With the self-deprecation from Jaime, I do like that, again, he's the one saying that he's without honor. She has now seen the different side of him that even Cersei hasn't seen.
Yeah.
The crying in the hot tub with the, I didn't, what the fuck was I supposed to do?
Right, Ares was a psychopath.
And so she knows that he at least has more honor than he's ever been given credit for. And like Tyrion, he's used that to weaponize and defend himself.
Shield, right?
And so she's trying to circumvent that.
Yeah, she is dismayed that he gave Arya to Steelshanks and says, you swore an oath to Catelyn, and he, again, with the armor yourself in it, with a sword at my throat. But never mind, Lady Catelyn's dead. I couldn't give her daughters back if I wanted. And besides, here's the stinger. Jaime, you could have led with this. That girl is not Arya Stark.
I think that it's so fucking cool that he tells her. Like, this is a secret of the realm.
Literally, your point proven of, like, he goes through all this shit of, like, my oath to Catelyn was made at sword point. She's dead, so I can't fulfill that. But also, that thing I just told you, that Arya Stark's going north.
Don't you worry about
It's
that.
not Arya Stark.
Yeah, and it's that he straight up is like, listen, I tell you this because I want you to find the real Arya Stark if she's alive. That's not her. Don't waste your time.
Yeah,
Sansa.
I love the line. I wanted to tell you that before you went galloping off to rescue her and got yourself killed for no good purpose. You're not half bad with a sword, but you're not good enough to take on 200 men by yourself. Like, I know you, and I know your stupid gallantry would have you tearing up the King's Road after them once you learned.
Yeah, and he kind of gives, Sansa's disappeared, so maybe you can find them both?
Yeah, because she's like, when Bolton learns that your dad paid with false coin, and he's like, Lannister's lie, remember? And, like, I love, this is just such sharp dialogue by Martin of Jaime refusing to give an inch of this, like, we all know you're trying to be a good guy now, so stop being a little bitch.
Stop edgelording, you fucker.
And so he says, it makes no purpose. This serves everyone's purpose. Like, no one cares that it's not Arya because the end result is the same. Everyone gets what they want. The House Stark lineage continues, quote unquote, and now it's legitimized through Roose Bolton's son. He gets a Stark in Winterfell almost legitimately. But he thinks, because Brienne asks, why would you tell me all this? You're betraying your father's secrets. And he says the hand's secrets, though I no longer have a father, LOL. And he says, I pay my debts like every good little lion. Aww. And so he is trying to keep his promise to Lady Stark.
Yeah.
Cersei is convinced Sansa helped Joffrey murder, and that's where Jaime leans. Jaime thinks Sansa did it.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting, take on it. He doesn't really blame her for it.
He was never here in King's Landing to get to know Sansa in any way. He didn't see how timid and peakish she would be, and the fact that, because Tyrion isn't certain about it, he still believes it's possible. Like, what else is likely? But even he's like, when, though? How? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Jaime doesn't have that knowledge of how she is.
Right.
So
Brienne refuses to believe that gentle girl is a poisoner. And Yeah, and Jaime's like, yeah, well, Tyrion's failed 2 trials, and so they're keeping him in a black cell till they kill him. And Brienne can pick up that you don't believe he did it. And he's like, see, we know each other too well.
You know me, bestie. We're finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah, and he says, Tyrion's wanted to be me since he took his first step, but he'd never follow me in kingslaying. And so Sansa Stark killed Joffrey. My brother's been silent to protect her. He has fits of gallantry from time to time. Similar brother traits there. The last one cost him his nose. This one, it will mean his head. And Brienne still refuses to believe it was Sansa, but he's like, there's that stupid, stubborn wench I remember. And now she's starting to piss him off, so he reaches down and brings out the gift.
STFU, I've got you a present. Just shut the fuck up and open it.
Brienne approached the bundle as if it was like to bite her. She still distrusts him, but wants to. The rubies glimmer in the light. She picks it up. It's a Valyrian steel sword, y'all. Like, what a fucking gift.
Yeah, no shit.
And so Jaime says, there's a time I would have given my right hand to wield a sword like that. Now it appears I have, so the blade is wasted on me.
What are the rules on regifting Valyrian steel?
There aren't any.
Nice.
You take it. It's fucking finders keepers. And so he tells her, it would please me if you would call this one Oathkeeper, which, there's the stinger. And this blade comes with a price. And she's like, I told you I will never serve your shit-ass house. And he's like, I know.
Can you just let me speak?
And so he says, Sansa Stark, Cersei is determined that she is found and killed wherever she is gone. And Brienne's like, if you think I would hunt her down, and Jaime's like, shut up, let me finish. And so he says, find her, get her somewhere safe, and how else are we supposed to make good on our stupid vows to your precious dead, Lady Catelyn? Just the hammering home how many times he said Catelyn Stark is dead in this chapter alone. She's not, though, because...
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know that
you two, the next time you two reunite, will be going to Catelyn Stark.
Sword.
And so Brienne's like, oh, wow, I thought. And Jaime's like, I know what you fucking thought. And he is now just sick to death of her. He just gets hit with this wave of, I'm fucking done trying to convince you.
This is the mirror I was talking about with Cersei, where he's angry at her, but... It's more of an exasperation than it is an anger right here, where, yes, he's frustrated that she's still thinking the worst of him at times, but it's accidental slip-ups where, as she really is one of the only people in the entire realm who truly does think highly of him.
Yes, absolutely. And so he gives her the quick rundown. When Ned Stark died, his sword was given to the King's Justice, but Tywin felt that was a waste on Ilyn Payne. So he gave Ilyn a new sword, had ice melted down and reforged. There was enough metal to make 2 blades. You're holding one. So you'll be defending Ned Stark's daughter with Ned Stark's own steel, if that makes any difference to you. And she is pretty taken aback by that. She starts to say, I owe you an apology. And he says, just take it and go before I change my mind. There's a horse in the stables for you. He compares her to the horse, looks-wise, like a dick. Chase after Steel Sanks, search for Sansa, or ride home to your Isle of Sapphires. It's not to me, but I don't want to look at you anymore. Jaime, and he's a Kingslayer, and tells her, we're done here. And she starts to say, Joffrey was and because she's feeling for him. She wants to be like, Joffrey was your son? Damn, dude. Are you
okay? It's okay to grieve.
And he's like, my king, leave it at that.
Before we get too much further past it, I just want all of our listeners to have a real good think about what Ilyn Payne looked like when Tywin comes up and was like,
give me that.
Hey.
There was no hey.
That's mine again.
Yeah.
Thank you. And just I just can't, he can't say anything, but sucking in his cheeks.
Right, yeah, just and, glaring.
How, you can't.
The one thing I had in life.
Right, you can't express your upset to Tywin because he's fucking Tywin Lannister. Tywin also didn't go collect it himself. He sent somebody to get it, but it's that, poor Ilyn. He's just sitting there with, sharpening it.
Right, he probably was, maintaining it real nice.
And then they're like, hey, we're here to get that for Tywin. Get it for
Kevin. It was Kevin who went and got the sword. You know it was.
Well, because he just wanted to touch the Valyrian steels.
Yeah.
I'll get it, Tywin. And he ran all the way there just to beat them.
I'll get it, dude.
Nobody was following, but he was running in case somebody was trying to get there
somebody was going to do it first, yeah. And he says, Joffrey was my king, just leave it at that. And Brienne follows that up with, you say Sansa killed him, so why protect her? And he thinks, because Joff was no more to me than a squirt of seed in Cersei's cunt, and because he deserved to die. Which, he doesn't say out loud yet, but he is well aware that Joffrey deserved to die.
I'm going to throw this out there. He has been gone for a bit. He obviously spent most of his life with Joffrey, protecting him, but some of the most heinous stuff that we're aware of
happened after.
All happened when he rose to power.
Yeah.
And so he thinks this based off of what he heard.
Yeah.
And what he saw as a child.
Joffrey cutting open cats and shit.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, without even all this atrocious shit he did, and he's like, yeah, he was a piece of shit. He needed to die. He had to go.
He says, I have made kings and unmade them. Sansa Stark is my last chance for honor. Besides, Kingslayers should band together. And so,
love it.
Jaime's on fire this chapter. So she takes Oathkeeper, says, I'll find the girl, keep her safe for Lady Catelyn's sake and for yours. And Brienne on fire as well. So she bows and then turns and leaves. And Jaime sits for a while, lets the shadows creep across the room. He lights a candle and opens the white book to his own page, and he begins to write. The last line Barristan had entered, he follows that up and begins to write in an awkward hand, because writing with your offhand is hard to do.
So, again, another mirror that I'm going to bring up. The beginning of the chapter. Tommen was signing in a childish handwriting, and now we're here at the end of the chapter where he's signing, and he says it. I believe it says a very childish handwriting.
Yeah. He wrote in an awkward hand that might have done credit to a 6-year-old being taught his first letters by a maester. And so the first fucking line he writes is defeated by the young wolf in Whispering Wood. It's not some boastful claim.
Getting his hand cut off was an ego death.
100%.
Absolutely. And he goes through the
held captive at Riverrun and ransomed for a promise unfulfilled, which I love. Captured again by the brave companions, maimed at the word of Vargo Hoat, their captain, losing his sword hand.
Gives me goosebumps.
Returned safely to King's Landing by Brienne, the Maid of Tarth.
I got real legit goosebumps just from that line. I love it.
And when he's done, more than 3/4 of his page still remain to be filled between the gold lion on the top and the white blank shield on the bottom. Gerald Hightower had begun his history. Barristan Selmy had continued it. But the rest, Jaime Lannister would need to write for himself, and he could write whatever he chose henceforth. Whatever he chose. And I do not think there is a better ending to a arc in this book series.
The coolest thing about the way that ends with that specific line is we get so much talk, even all the way up to now, from so many different characters about history being written by the victors. They always will bend history to make them seem the sweeter. We just learned that he is now in this position where he gets to write history, his own history, and he chooses his defeat to highlight.
Well, Jaime's always been the victim of that, though. His house fucking, for all intents and purposes, Robert's rebellion, the Lannisters were on the winning side.
Right.
But he still came out the Kingslayer.
Right.
He did the right thing and still came out the villain of that. He killed Aerys and saved the population of King's Landing and still was a monster because of it. And so now he actually does get to choose, and it's such a pivotal moment for him. It is such a cool ending. It like you said, the Brienne of Tarth, the Maid of Tarth line gives you the goosebumps. It's just that end there for me, the whatever he chose. It hits so hard because we see what he's choosing.
He's in control finally, and
sent Cersei away, and then armed Brienne, gave her a sword, gave her a horse.
And a quest.
And and
an honorable
did
quest.
his dickish Jaime, like, I don't care what you do. He knows what she's going to do. She's going to go after Sansa Stark and try to protect.
Yeah, but regardless of how much of an asshole he was being, he also stopped her from chasing fake Arya Stark.
Arya, right.
He talks her up. He complimented her about the dress.
Saved her from Loras. Like, all of these things. Yes.
So he acts like a piece of shit edgelord. But we know, because we've been watching with this omnipotent point of view, all these growing points for him. How he's chosen the knightly thing.
Yeah, it's
to do,
like you
honorable.
said, the losing the hand was the ego death. There was no better thing to happen to him, as much as it fucked him up. He needed it.
I don't know that there would have been any other thing.
There was nothing else.
He had to lose his ability
not
to
even,
be the best
like,
swordsman.
Tyrion dying would have knocked him off.
Well, he still would have been the best swordsman. He still would have went down and killed somebody.
Killed whoever did it. Yes.
Or whoever whether you killed him or caused him to be killed. I'm gonna kill you now because I can. I'm Jaime Lannister with the fucking Lannister. That's hand.
I hate you. I fucking hate you.
Anyway, but yes, that's the end of Jaime 9. We did decide that was his final chapter of this book, correct?
We did, yes.
Great. So,
God, Jaime just gets hotter and hotter. Fuck, man.
Not with that limp, tiny dick sticking out.
No,
his
Cersei's
pants.
just a vindictive bitch.
That was fucking rude.
Yeah, how quick.
Unnecessary.
It's just like how quick she goes to vindictive bitch is.
It's very funny to see where Joffrey got it all.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
Craziness.
Like this, and that's what's crazy is like Jaime was right about Robert and all that. Like, maybe it wasn't because he just wanted to kill Bran Stark. Maybe it purely was because he wanted his fucking father's approval.
Right.
And so it was learned behavior, being a little sociopath. Sure. I mean, I'm sure there was some in there, but being inbred and all that.
So I also have we hear it a lot that every time a Targaryen is born, a coin is flipped. Again, I think that's just something that history and the people have forced onto the Targaryen.
It's incest.
Yes, but I also think that could almost apply to a lot of people that are in the powerful positions.
Especially those with incest.
So, because I'm going to reference Cersei in them, and so not her children, but her herself.
Well, yeah, sure.
That, like, she's just as fucking.
Oh, you didn't know Tywin and Joanna were?
Parts of me
their
have
brother
sat there
and
and
sister.
thought, been like, I wonder if maybe Tywin was out fucking
messing around with his sister.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, no. But yes, it's 100% people in power, unchecked power.
Just go mad.
I'll go mad with it, but you throw in the fact that people are fucking their brother, their sister, their first cousin. Yeah, genetics.
Well, and especially with the Targaryens, where it was going for generations.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because that, based off of, I believe that there's been reports and things about this as well. The most inbred human ever in real life was like King Peter or something down in Spain.
Yeah.
And he was a mess.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like half as inbred as the furthest Targaryens.
Right.
Where, like, in reality, most of them should have been bedridden, unable to function. Because we're in a magical world. They're just fucking insane, malicious
Well, right.
beings.
I mean, the Targaryens they may or may not have magical blood anyway, but it's crazy that Cersei has 2 decent children. It's like pretty much where we're at with it. Is she's got Myrcella and Tommen,
she
who are
flipped
both
the coin. She got the failed.
Unequivocally good kids.
Yeah.
They are good kids who are innocent and sweet.
Raising sweet little kittens, not murdering them,
and
not cutting them open.
They deserve the world. They're both gonna die. They deserve the world. They're both gonna die. And
can you stop?
But Joffrey was not. Joffrey was showing pretty psychopathic tendencies, and then you give him completely unchecked power, and that obviously is never going to end well. Not to mention the abuse from his father. Robert, we know, hit him and abused him. Cersei clearly ain't and maybe even not like an abuse. Like, look at what she just did to her lover. And
that's what I was going to say. Is she was definitely at least emotionally abusing him.
She shook that baby. She shook that baby when he wouldn't shut up.
And the emotional the breakdown of trying to get him to need her the way that she needed him.
Right.
But we also saw the growth of his insanity and the power when he was, going against her. If you ever talk to me that way again, I'll fucking kill you. If you ever lay your hand on me again, if he would just keep pushing where she thought, oh, I'm okay. Oh, no, he's gone another step forward into madness. But
Right, and Jaime here, when Cersei, was insulting and like hitting him with the worst kind of blows that Jaime could be hit with at this point, your manhood, your missing hand. All he told her was like, you need to go. You're making me upset. And like, he didn't hit her. He didn't, call her a whore or a bitch or a cunt.
Because he's a good partner.
Because he loves her genuinely and she does not. And that is never been more clear than in this chapter, where for her, he's a tool. He is a thing she uses in her Game of Thrones, and now that he is pushing back mildly against her,
she doesn't want his tool anymore.
She doesn't want his tool. She's gonna go and get Osmond or Oswald or
Patchface for Moonboy.
Leave Patchface alone. He's Shireen's friend.
Yeah. At the bottom of the sea and all that jazz.
That's it for Jaime. Jaime, we don't have a long wait for, though, because Jaime, we will be checking back in with Feast.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad for that, because God damn it, Jaime's arc is so good. There's a reason that he's one of the fan favorites, because his redemption arc, and I don't even know if it is a redemption arc. I don't know if he's going to fully ever redeem himself, because he did shove a child out of a window and crippled him for life. Like, that's a pretty irredeemable...
Yeah, I mean, it's really just it's more of an honorable turn. From this point on, he's going to do his best to not be a repulsive piece of shit.
Right, and to try to correct what he can where he can.
You can never know if you can ever truly get forgiveness or get
That's up
redemption.
to Bran. And so I do hope... We got it in the show. Oh, I smacked the mic. We got it in the show, and it was a letdown. I really didn't like...
I'm waiting for you.
Right, like... Because, Bran was unfeeling and didn't care at that point.
Right, and it was you had to push me
right,
so that I could become this,
so you could become what you are. And, like,
sure.
I'm fine if that's a little bit of the dialogue we get, is we both needed that push, quote unquote, the literal metaphoric push. But, like, there needs to be more to it, and I would love to see Bran being like, I fucking hated you and I wanted you to die, and Jaime being like, I deserved to for it, and I think he would own that.
I honestly think there'd probably be even there was some points in my life more recently where I wish I did die.
I thought I should have. I thought your mother was going to kill me, and she would have been absolutely justified just for what I did to you and the pain I put you through.
Right. Forget about your father.
Right. Everything and the war, everything.
Just you.
Just what I did to you. Your mother would have been justified in opening my throat.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be reading Jaime's Feast chapters from this analytical point of view.
I'm so scared for him and Brienne with Lady Stoneheart.
Nah, it's gonna be cool.
It's not gonna be cool.
It's gonna be cool.
Catelyn is gonna maybe open his throat.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I
don't know. I'm not 100% convinced both Brienne and Jaime make it out of that cave. I
can hope.
I hope, sure. I'm not convinced.
Well, I mean, I think that they make it out of the cave. It's just whether they get out of the tree or not is the...
See,
are they up
I don't think for like Brienne was up in the tree.
Right.
They took her out of her and Pod out of the cave for the hanging. I don't think Jaime Lannister gets hung. I think Catelyn Stark is going to want to do that one herself. And that one's going to be scary. And so that's it for Jaime, y'all. It's so good. We loved it. I loved it. I love Brienne. I love Jaime. Cersei. Yeah. I love Wild and Cersei. Like,
she's nuts. She's a fucking savage.
I love Firebrand Cersei.
So next up will be Jon 10. Jon is going north of the Wall again. He's going to be parlaying with Mance Rayder, and then one Stannis the Manus is going to show up.
Yeah, that is not Jon's last chapter.
No,
we'll be checking in with Jon quite a few more times as we wrap this up, but we are coming in hot on the ending here.
I mean, shit. Mance's baby's about to be born next chapter.
Little monster.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So So if you would like to talk to us about this current episode, about Jon, about Storm, about what's coming in Feast, let us know. withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com. You can find us on socials. We don't do much on them. So instead, review, like, subscribe, all that stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your music.
We see you, YouTube.
We love the YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. That's very nice as well. Don't forget, we are hard at work on something else.
Hey, we read books, y'all. And there's something in the pipeline.
Yeah, there's lots of books we like to read.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That's, it's just really cool.
Yeah, let us know what books you would like us to read if maybe we have or haven't. And so,
who knows?
Send it in and we'll see what happens.
Stay tuned. We got big news on the horizon
very soon.
But
so.
I think that does it for Jaime.
Absolutely
and
does.
And that does it for us. So we'll catch you on the next one.
Valor to Harris.
Peace.